With all good Destiny stories, let's start with Siva. I know Siva's not going to be in game. I know Siva's most likely not going to come back. But our story and what this theory of this new dungeon, Warlord's Ruin, is based off of starts and has its roots at Siva.
Hunters never die, no, hunters never die.
But before we get into the story, let's take a look at this image. As we can see, snowy castle on a peak, broken down. But if you look closer, you will notice a fallen house banner on the side. That is the House of Kings, which no longer exist. They assimilated into the House of Dusk. And with the images that we have received and the information we have received so far from Bungie, we do know that this will be a Scorn and Taken dungeon. So how do the Scorn and or Taken fit into an extinct fallen house? So like I said in the beginning of this video, let's start with Siva. The House of Kings were the shadow organization of the Fallen. They had their little claws and docked nubs in a lot of different fallen houses, and they operated from behind the scenes. The most prominent of these houses that they had some control in was the House of Devils. Now, as we know, the House of Devils decided to get their little hands on some nanobites and became the Devil Splicers. And this is when the House of Kings was like, this is a little too much for us. This is weird, guys. This is strange, and decided to back off from the House of Devils completely. But the House of Kings realized that by stepping away from the House of Devils, they lost influence and power. And this was not something they wanted. They wanted their influence, they wanted their power. So they decided to strike a deal with none other than Uldren Sov. And in their deal with Uldren Sov, what they wanted was to unite all the fallen houses under a single banner. And we saw this during the Red War, with the emergence of House of Dusk. This was the House of Kings and Uldren's creation. In fact, the House of Kings was still mostly in charge of this new house, operating in the shadows, but from within as well. Now, with this new House of Dusk, mostly House of Kings, and Uldren, they went on to fight Uldren's own people, the Awoken. And that is one of the reasons why Uldren was considered a traitor, is that he helped the Fallen attack the reef. Now, sometime during these sieges on the reef and his attacks and taking over ships, Uldren met a dying Fallen named Fikril. And so Uldren felt bad for this dying Fallen and decided to make a wish. And this wish corrupted the ether inside this Fallen, and the first Scorn was born. Uldren became good friends with this new Scorn Baron, Fikril the Fanatic, and Fikril considered Uldren his father. And together, they formed an alliance, and Uldren decided to betray the House of Kings. Fikril, along with Uldren, went and ransacked and slaughtered the remaining members of House of Kings. In fact, not only slaughtering the group of Fallen, but he took the leader, Krakix, and tore off his arms, taking him from a mighty leader down to a lowly dreg before killing him. And after the entire House of Kings was slaughtered, they were raised back from the dead as the first Scorn. Because before that moment, Fikril didn't call himself Scorn. The House of Kings were the first Scorn. So with that information, I'm going to propose a theory of what the storyline behind this dungeon is going to be. And we can induce some things based on information that Bungie has given us. If you look at the badges tab in your inventory, you can see Warlord's Ruin badge. And it says, uncover buried histories and lingering grudges within a ruined Dark Age castle. And then, if we also look at the dungeon preview image that we were shown at the beginning of this season, it reads, enter the Warlord's Ruin and banish the Scorn and Taken from wielding wish magic. So my theory is that the Scorn that we will be fighting inside this castle, inside this Warlord's Ruin, are the original Scorn, the House of Kings. And we learned in Season of the Lost that the Scorn were no longer becoming just mindless zombies, that they were developing culture and identity of their own. So maybe these Scorn remember their past life, remember the influence and power and autonomy that they once held. And they got their hands on an Ahamkara bone, and they realized that the only way to undo a wish, the wish that created the scorn, was to make an even more powerful wish, to return them to their former selves. Now this would explain the grudges. A grudge against Uldren, a grudge against Fikrul, a grudge held against the Guardians that have been slaughtering them and forcing them to repeat, come back to life over and over and over again. But who knows? Maybe this dungeon could have nothing to do with all the information I just gave you, and my theory could be way off. But at this point in time, I think with the information that we have been given in game so far, the pictures that we have seen, and the lore behind the creation of the Scorn, it is the best theory that we can come up with. And after hearing this video, I hope you guys decide for yourself if this is a plausible or just a crackpot theory. And if you like this theory and you like this video, please hit that subscribe button. And if you would like to see more content, you can find all my links down in the description.